Hello guys, welcome back to sanvfx. And Sensor, I'm back with another tutorial here. It's been a while I've not recorded a tutorial, and here I am. And today we're going to look at modeling these screws in 3ds Max. Actually, this is a simple object. There's not too much detail, but we might get into some challenging part while creating these thread heads. That's why I thought this could be a really good topic to model, and it should be a very good modeling practice for you guys as well. So I have a reference image here, and I just take it out just to position these threads right there. And the problem we might face on creating these is we have this thread that's a continuous loop. Okay, so we want to create a continuous loop from top to bottom in that way. So that might be a bit challenging, so we'll tackle that today. Let's go open up our 3ds Max, and first of all, let me load up our blueprint in my front view. Let me maximize my viewport by pressing the Alt W key, and then let me go to Views, Viewport Background, and Custom Viewport Background. From here I can just use File and Match Bitmap, Lock Zoom Pan, so that the image will move when we move the grid along. Let's go. I've set that up in desktop maybe. Let's see. Okay, screw blueprint, open up, and okay. So you can see now the blueprint is loaded. Now we'll not worry about this top part for now. We'll just go ahead and create this part right there. Now let me go ahead and create a cylinder in my perspective view. Okay, doesn't matter whatever the size is and the height is, we will adjust it accordingly. Let me position it at the bottom here. Let's go to Modify tab and increase the radius first. That should be okay, and increase the height to match up the blueprint. That should be alright. Okay, and then I'm gonna make my height segments down to 1. Okay, now you may want to have a decent amount of sides so that the image would look pretty smooth, or you can obviously later on add in a turbo smooth to make that smooth, but it's better if you have some decent sides. It's a small object, so we can maybe get down to 16. That should give you a pretty decent look. Okay, now that's done. Let me first of all duplicate this. Actually, this I'm just going to show you some other examples how people create screws, and let me just convert it to an editable poly. And most people and most of the times, because the screws are really small details which are not exactly necessary to model perfectly, so what we can do is go to connect, add in some segments there, maybe about that. Okay, and maybe do a quick chamfer, increase the amount. Okay, and then go down here on left view. Let's go to polygon mode, and we're going to select the polygons, skipping one polygon and selecting the other. Well, let's do it pretty quick. Okay, and then go ahead and do a bevel there. Go to local normal, not that much, maybe down, and increase the decrease the outline amount. That's how people create screws, and if you look from far, there should be no problem on creating that. Okay, and in most cases this is a really small detail, and most of the time it gets inside a hole to fix something, so we'll definitely not need this detail. But there might be some time in your modeling history where you may want to model completely exactly photoreal. So in that case you may need this technique that I'm going to show right now, so that should be a good modeling practice for now. Okay, and most of the cases modeling the screw this way, that should work perfectly. So let me get rid of that and get to our modeling. And now that we have created the cylinder, we need this path to follow along. We can't go ahead and manually cut that in. That's going to take forever and it's not going to be perfect. So we need to have some kind of a reference or some kind of line there. So let's go to create tab, down to shapes, and we have this helix right here. Okay, so let me just drag and drop and create something randomly, and okay, that should do. And okay, I didn't show you the step of creating the helix. So in order to create, you gotta click and drag it out, let the mouse go and give it some height, one second click, and then you gotta give the second radius. Okay, that's how you create, and again click to end. Now I can just align it to the center of the cylinder by clicking this button right here and clicking the cylinder, and we're gonna do X, Y, G position and pivot, or maybe center point. Okay, I think the previous point would be better, but that's alright. And let me position it down at the bottom, somewhere around here, and we need to adjust their radius. Obviously, I think they're not at the center, so let me align it once again at the pivot point this time. Okay, I think that's still not, but that's alright. First of all, let us match the radius up 25 maybe, and then let's position it ourselves. That should be okay. And then radius to 25 as well. That's too big, so let's go with 21 and 21. See, a little big. Let me guess 19.5 by 19.5. Okay, that's a perfect size. Now we need to give it a height, exactly the height of our cylinder, but little small, little less than the exact cylinder. We need some space slid on at the top and the bottom. Well, let's do maybe reduce it a bit, and let's see at the bottom here. We cannot see, but let us pull it up a bit. Well, that's okay. Now let's increase the turns. Maybe 8 would do. We can see here maybe a little more, and I think that should do a pretty good job. You can see here, or maybe we need to increase it a bit more. Okay, that's correct. Okay, it's now following the blueprint nicely. A little bit different maybe, and you can also increase it if you want that way. Okay, so that should do pretty much fine. And this line is going to act as a reference for us to get that loop there. Now the next thing we're going to do is select our cylinder and convert it to an editable poly, and we need to cut right following this path right there. Okay, so let me select that helix and convert that to an editable spline first. And if we see the vertex, there are lots of vertex right there, so it should be really difficult for us if we go ahead and snap our tools to vertex. Let me show what I mean. Select our cylinder, go to cut, and let me right click my snap button right here, and there is a vertex selected on. Okay, and if I go ahead, you'll notice turn on the snap, and you'll notice that it gets snapped to every vertex right there. And if we go ahead and cut it this way, you can see, right click, turn off, and turn off the snap as well. Let me select my cylinder and press Alt Q to go to isolation mode, and you can see we have that segment right there, but you'll notice that we have additional segments right at the middle, this vertex right there, and we should again go ahead and clean those up later on. If we go ahead and do complete of them, then we're gonna have some trouble clearing that up. So what are we gonna do is, let me get rid of this by pressing the Control backspace, and let me exit the isolation mode. You can click this button right here, or also Alt Q button. So in order to cut it perfectly nice and smooth, let's go to cut and right click the snap toggles. I'm gonna turn off vertex, and I'm gonna select A segments. Okay, and turn on that. Now you can see and they can snap to every segment, so it should be a little easy for us to cut out. Also, if you are new to cut tool, you should know that the icon changes as you move to vertex. You can see the icon is a small square box with some cross there, and if you go to face, it'll be a bigger square, and if you are on I guess segments or lines, you'll have a different icon. So you should know that before cutting. And let me zoom in a bit, and let me right click. Let me get off of cut mode first, and let me select my segments. Let's go and set black color for that so we can see better. You can see there. Let's go cut now, and we're gonna start cutting up. Okay, cut that way. Make sure the icon is what you can see right now. That's the indication that it's on a line. So that's where you want to cut. You don't want to cut on a face like this, otherwise you will end up having lots of unnecessary vertex which you will need to clear up later on. So go ahead and make sure and start cutting. It's gonna take some time, obviously. We have to go all the way up to the bottom. Let's go ahead and click, and don't worry if you go a little bit up or down. You don't have to be 100% accurate. That should look pretty good, even though if you are a little bit offset, you can see here it's a little bit down, but that's alright. That'll be okay. You don't have to worry. Let's go ahead and cut out. Okay, we could have done that manually without using that helix, but that should take forever to get it exact. So this helix should do a pretty good job. And also we could have added a I'm so sorry. Okay, I'll explain that later on, don't worry. Okay, let's go ahead and cut it first, and then let's go. It should be pretty good. There's still a lot of way to do, so I'm gonna pause the video and get back once we finish cutting. Okay, I'm almost at the end, so we should finish it soon now. Okay, cut that. And if you don't know what I'm doing to move my viewports, that's pretty simple. I just go ahead and cut one of them, and then I hold Alt and my middle mouse button to move it around like this, rotate around at the end, and right click to end. Okay, now we are done with the cut. Let me select my cylinder, turn off my snap, and then press the Alt key to isolate, and that's pretty okay. And you can see here I did a mistake right here. You may sometimes have such errors. You may click accidentally on a face rather than on a line, so you can easily fix that. Let's go to cut once again, and I'll cut it from here to here, and then I'm gonna select these unnecessary lines there. So all the way up to bottom. Okay, and control backspace to delete them. And also you can see somewhere the cut looks really inaccurate. In such places you can just go ahead and do a manual movement, and you may go ahead and check all the way around if there is any other inaccurate vertices. And in order to check if this is right running on a continuous loop without having any vertex in the middle, you can just go ahead to edge and double click one of these edges, and if it's perfect or it's going on a single line without any breaks or anything, then the loop should go perfectly fine. You should select all of them. You can see there, and I don't think there is any inaccurate cut right there, so this should be pretty fine. Okay, now the next thing we're gonna do is chamfer them out, and let's go ahead a bit more amount. You don't want to crush this part right there. Okay, that should be pretty fine. Okay, Now once that's done, let me go ahead and select this segments right here and do a ring, and control click the polygon to select those faces. And this is an unnecessary face. We can just select, hit alt and click to deselect that, and that should be on the bottom as well, so alt and deselect that as well. Now we're gonna bevel that out. Local normal, maybe let's go to our blueprints here. How big is that? Maybe that should be pretty much fine, I guess. You can see 7.5, maybe 7.5. And for the outline amount, let's see, we're gonna go really down. Maybe that should be all fine. Okay, now we're gonna go to segments once again, lines, and we're gonna select that loop right there, this one here and this one here, so that we can chamfer them. And let's go on our starting right here. We want to select these ones, and the bottom ones as well. And let's go ahead and do a quick chamfer. Now, obviously we will need to have only a little bit of amount, otherwise they'll start overlapping up, and that will look pretty bad. So don't go too high, maybe 0.4 or something like that. It should go pretty well. Okay, so that's how we create that thread right there. And now let's go ahead and create our tip here. For that, we're gonna add in a FFT box modifier, FFT box, and for the number of points, I'm gonna set my height to 6 and hit OK. Let's go ahead, click this plus button right here and go to control points, select all these control points at the bottom, and go to scale and scale it down. Okay, let's go to perspective view. We can see it better here. Scale it down so that's pretty much thin there, that way. Or maybe you can also scale this one down that way. Okay, that looks pretty good. We can now just convert it to an editable poly once again. Poly. Let's go ahead and add in a turbo smooth. We'll see how it looks when we smooth it. Go to isoline display, and let me turn off the edges right there. Okay, that looks pretty good. We don't have much error at the top, a little bit, and that will fix, and we don't have any error at the bottom as well, so everything looks pretty good. Well, now let's go ahead and create the top part. That's a really easy part actually, and that's not what I want to show in this tutorial, but still I want to create that part. And for that, I'm gonna just delete this top face right there, delete that, and go to border, select this border right here, and I'm gonna go to front view, go to move tool by pressing the W key, or you can select it from here, and click the shift key and drag it up, so that way you'll extrude along that line. And I'm gonna scale it out to match the reference there. Okay, that's okay. And I'm gonna once again extrude it up, and then hit cap. Okay, and then I have that is selected there, so I'm gonna do a chamfer, making it a little smoother, and select this bottom one as well, and chamfer, just do a 2. Okay, that should be fine. Well, that's good. Now we need to create that minus sign there for our screwdriver to tie this knot. Before going that, I was just saying something previously, so let me hide all, and here we have our helix. And what we could do is go to rendering and enable in render and viewport, and then it should give you something like this. We can increase the thickness, maybe 5. So this should also give you a pretty good detail, kind of like on a screw. Maybe set it to more, 7 or something like that. If you have a cylinder right there, that'll create one cylinder up there as well. Is that helix? Here we have. Okay, create one cylinder right there, just to see. Shift A to align it, and let me increase the height up. Okay, you can see that should also give you a pretty good detail right there, but we wanted to create us out of a single piece, and also we have some modification. We have the thin edges right there, so we did that way, but you may want to do this a little bit quicker way. You can also use a rectangle, but that acts a little bit different with the helix, so we cannot create exactly that, but sometimes that should also work. That's a pretty fast and quick way to create that detail right there. And let's go up here and create that minus sign now. Let me go to top view. Have here, let's turn on our faces shaded mode. Let's go to shaded and turn on our edge faces as well. Let's go to polygons and insert that a bit higher amount. Okay, first of all, let's do it this one and do a plus, more higher amount, once again plus, and that should be fine. Let's go to vertex, and we're going to straighten these out to match these two vertex right there, also on the top one, and scale it on x-axis to make it straight. Okay, that's okay. And also for these two, let's straighten that out. And we're gonna scale that on y-axis as well. Well, let's go ahead now and select vertex. We're gonna connect these together. Go to connect. Well, they connected all together, so let's go ahead and delete these unnecessary segments right there. Control backspace. Let's go to vertex, select these middle ones and connect them together too. Let's go to face, select these polygons right there, and we're gonna pull it in. Okay, do a quick inset with really small amount. Okay, and do extrude, negative extrusion. Okay, control click the edges to select those edges right there, and I'm gonna just deselect them. Sorry, alt and select to deselect them, and I'm gonna hit chamfer. Okay, also for this one right there, chamfer, not too much. Okay, now if you go ahead and add in a traverse mode there, that's to do a pretty good job on holding that. Okay, that looks pretty good, and it's smooth there as well. We have everything fine. Well, that's how you create a screw. It should be a really good practice for you guys. So thank you guys for watching. We'll get back with some more tutorials, and hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial and you have something to learn from this. Don't forget to comment us by giving us a feedback how you like our tutorials. We have been receiving lots of comments as well, and as well as I want to tell you something, that our website contact form is having some issues. We're not getting the email address what you're using, so we're not able to reply to any of those messages. So if you are one of them to whom we have not replied, then please once again contact us. We have fixed that issue, and we should get your email address now so that we can reply to your messages as well. So guys, thank you guys for watching. Have a great day. See you then. Bye bye.